All right, folks, happy Sunday once again. It's the 15th of September. Sunday morning still. It's about 11:15 a.m. We got a good amount of moisture last evening. It's starting to kind of wither away, dry up just a little bit. I have a feeling we're about to get a little bit wet here in the cornfield, but whatever. That's the worst thing that happens today. Doing pretty good. Yeah, it'd sure be nice to go after a Sunday fun day somehow or another, but that can't be afforded right now. I'm all loaded up again here for fence maintenance and building, and that's what my afternoon entitles, which is pretty good. All right, folks, we're on the extreme south end here of 18.5 acres of what I'm going to call my primary corn. A little bit of a different story than yesterday's video at the other cornfield. Yeah, I know there's a hell of a lot better corn in this country, folks. I guess I'm just kind of showing you what I have here. Pretty happy and pretty fortunate for what's here concerning the year that we've had. I came in here before and peeled that back. Concerning the year that we've had, what time this went in, and everything else. We're going to stay positive on this, though, so enough of that kind of talk. So, we got a low-lying area here where a lot of the water collected and got compacted during spring workup. So this is a little bit of a shallower type area here. But altogether, not too bad. It's about average all throughout the field. There is one area that suffered pretty greatly, and there's no reason behind it. We ought to do a video there sometime, and maybe somebody else can tell me what the heck happened there. So, yeah, this is it. It's well behind. It's just starting to dent. It has been for a little bit now. It wasn't on Labor Day, which is kind of a rule for us. Corn basically at maturity and dented by Labor Day. That wasn't the case this year, not by a long shot, but it's starting now. The process is starting. This healthy drink of water that we've had for the last few weeks or so has done this field wonders. And with this weather we have coming this week, we've got some very nice sun coming along with 80 degrees. That's that fall summer I've been telling you about, September summer, excuse me. That's going to help out tremendously. But anyway, okay, if you caught yesterday's video at what I'm going to call the secondary field, which was real pathetic, you caught, and if you didn't, go ahead and go back to it and check it out. You caught my scenario on what I'm going to do this year for corn harvest. The goal in the spring was obviously a healthy amount of corn silage, and then one of these fields for shelled corn. That's not the case because of the crops that we have this year. So the 13.5 acres, a few miles away from the farm, will be chopped completely. And then whatever needs to be taken off of this field to top off the silo, we're going to have to be in pretty constant communication with the man on the chopper. Whatever's needed, taken off of here to fill the silo up, whatever's left. And I'm speaking a little wishful thinking here, but I sure as hell hope it's 10 acres. I doubt 12. Whatever's left is going to be saved for shelled corn later in the year. Now, basically this field's going to get opened up. It's going to start being a deer haven in here once the amount of property is taken off of here and whatever's left in the middle for shelled. It's going to take a deer hit, but what are you going to do? I definitely want some shelled corn to store at the mill here this year, which hardly even makes sense these days with the price of corn. Corn is relatively cheaper in price, but that's the goal. So yeah, just a little look-see. Like I said, this is about average for the field, except for one area that we'll take a look at some other point. Yeah, very happy and thankful and surprised for the year that we had. This corn took off tremendously well after it was first planted. I kid you not. You know, bragging's for losers, or we're somebody that has something to hide. I've said that 100 times. I gotta tell you though, this was the absolute almost pride of the county, this corn, when it first came up. I'm gonna attribute that to you know, all the manure that was put down on here, and not to mention dry commercial fertilizer as well. If you remember correctly, in the spring, I forget what my load count was out here, but it was near 70 loads. I guarantee that. So that helped out a lot. Yeah, what I really like is that this was put in after last year's sorghum. That is always a concern. Putting a crop in after the previous year's crop, how will it react? Thus far, everything that I've seen, things don't take a very big hit when sorghum is on there, for the lack of better words, or sorghum going into ground that was corn the previous year. It's been pretty damn fair. What is the fate of this year, this field for next year? I'd have to probably say sorghum, folks. It's close to the farm. It's a nicer, larger type chunk of land for where I'm from, you know, being that it's about 18 and a half, 19 acres, and it's right next to the farm. Depending on how the cows react to the sorghum, which I know that they're going to be fine with it. Depending on how they react, I'm here to tell you, we'll see what happens. But I can definitely see this being a good sorghum blend in here, and the entire first crop cut at about 5 or 6 feet and thrown in the 16-foot silo, which will be empty by then. That's just a lot of loose words right there. Make my decision as the year goes on, and then throughout the winter, crop rotations. Oh, I'm losing you here. The possibility of some other property being run by me next year is very great. Kind of in conversations as we speak. I'm not going to talk about it too much though until it becomes reality. It's another case of property that has been used and abused. I'm going to have the job of going in there and cleaning the hell out of it. But if that's what it takes, no big deal. It's okay. It just takes a little bit of work and, unfortunately, a little extra money, which, you know, thank God we're farmers. We're automatically rich. So who cares? That's my Sunday humor, and that's all I have. Okay, if anybody's still actually watching, Hope you enjoyed the corn updates here, and I'm pretty happy about this stand here. It's not the greatest, like I said, but for the year that we have, very grateful about it. Yeah, you're going to possibly see some cattle. Yeah, I said that correctly. You're possibly going to see some cattle, new cattle on this farm next week, late next week. I'm in conversations right now with a very good gentleman who has had a great herd of cattle for many, many years, not too far from here. He's getting out. He's at that age of retirement. He's a little past that, and they want to start basically wintering in Florida. And of course, you can't have a herd of cows if you're going to do that. So basically, what I'm looking at is some bred cows that are 2 and 3 year cows that are already bred, preg checked, and verified, AI'd from a Black Angus Black Angus sire. We'll see what happens, but I got to get my lazy butt in gear here, folks. I'd like to have a Sunday fun day, but can't afford it right now. Like I said, I got to keep chugging along and get some things done, and we'll kind of go from there. So anyway, have a great Sunday. We'll talk to you sooner than later.